Can you see my screen?
Yep, we can see it.
Okay, thank you. I will quickly go over some of the recent stuff we announced. The list is a little bit shorter than usual this time, but a lot of stuff is on the roadmap. As you guys know, in last year, we delivered more than 100 new features and enhancements, and we continue to deliver more. We talked about some of them in the last month's meeting, and I will quickly go over some of the new ones. One of the things that we start providing on the oracle.com page, maybe, I don't know if you guys saw, is some database metrics for the autonomous database service. One of them we are showing there is more like a showcase of the capabilities of the environment that we are providing. We start providing a global query metrics, which shows the average number of queries executed per hour in the autonomous database globally. I just took this. This generally shows the average for the last 7 days. And as you can see, 17 billion queries per hour being executed on autonomous platform, which is amazing. And this number goes up over time. Another thing we are providing is the average availability of the service as well in different regions for the last 3 months. And this is available publicly on the oracle.com page, and you will get the link to that one if you don't know, or you can see it on the top of the picture, the link for it. One of the things we start doing a while ago is we start providing some events from the autonomous database for various things. Some of them are related to maintenance, some of them are related to backups or some other things. And we are keep adding new events to those. And recently we added 2 kinds of events that can be triggered from the database, and you can get some set some notifications for those. One of them is failed login warning. If you are some users or applications keep getting failed logins, we can send you a notification saying that there's some failed logins are happening, because it can be a good reason, like somebody write the information wrong, or somebody might be trying to testing the passwords. So that's one of the things we are providing. Another one, some customers asking us to be notified, is sometimes when something goes wrong in the server that your database is running on, when there's a problem, sometimes we move your database from one machine to another machine. And some customers wanted to be aware if this happens. So we start providing an event for that. If for some reason we have to move your database from one machine to another machine, we start providing some events regarding that, so that you are aware what's going on about that. Another thing that's generally we see mostly during the migrations is when you're doing a data pump import to the database, sometimes you get an error saying that, hey, your database time zone version is not compatible with the time zone version of the source database. You get an error like that on the screen. And to be able to, we normally provide all the new time zones in the autonomous database, but we don't automatically apply them. Because if you want to apply a new time zone file, you need to upgrade the time zone information in the database. And if you have timestamp with time zone column types, for example, that has to be updated as well. So it can take a while for that update to happen. So we don't automatically do it. We provide the files, but we don't do it automatically. So now we provide a control to enable or disable this auto upgrade. If you enable it, whenever a new time zone file version arrives, for example, the time zone information change in one country, for example, Brazil, Turkey, a couple of countries change those things a lot. If you are getting affected by that, you can choose to automatically uptake those, or you may disable them. You say, I don't need it, so I don't want to pay the overhead for the upgrade. So that is now available as a PLC code procedure to enable disable it. Another thing we provide is when you are setting or resetting the admin password with using APIs or scripts, or when you are creating a database, or when you're cloning a database, you need to provide the admin password in your commands. And when you are scripting those things, some people don't want to put the actual admin password text in their commands or scripts because it can be a security issue. Now, what we started providing is you can put your admin password in a OCI Vault secret, and in your API calls, when you're creating, cloning, or resetting the password of an admin, you can just say, take the password from that secret, instead of writing the clear text of the password in your commands or scripts. This way, it provides a little bit extra security when you are dealing with the APIs or SDKs to do those kind of stuff. This is more for that kind of customers who are doing these things with APIs or SDKs. If you are doing it from the OCI console, it is already SSL and stuff, so you don't need that, but this is more for people who are scripting these things. And with that, that's all from my side. I don't know if there's any questions. No questions, so thank you. I'm stopping sharing, Clara.
Okay, so does anyone have any comments to make on how things have been going? Would it be good to have a session on that, like maybe at the next one? Maybe if we send out some questions and we can like try and get some feedback. I think I'll do that. Maybe not the next one, but the one after. Okay, so I don't think we have Jayan on. So I guess, Amit, are you ready to present?
Sure.
Thank you.
All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Amit Goyal. I'm a Senior Director of Product Management from the Fusion Analytics warehouse team. So the way to think about analytics in Oracle, let me just move this out of the way. Okay. So when it comes to analytics, we have platform as a service products like Oracle Analytics Cloud. So think of that more like a Tableau or a Power BI, more of a generic analytics capability service. And that is something you can buy in OCI if you want. Just like you would buy Autonomous Database, you could buy Oracle Analytics Cloud. What we have built on top is we have built applications on top. So software as a service. We have Fusion Analytics and NetSuite Analytics. So if people are using NetSuite as their OLTP application, we have out-of-the-box warehouse and analytics for them. And if they're using Oracle Fusion, which is our primary enterprise OLTP software, you can purchase Fusion Analytics. So the vision for Fusion Analytics is, customers are obviously aggregating a bunch of data in their OLTP applications, whether it's ERP, SCM, HCM, CX, enterprise resource planning, supply chain, human resources, customer intelligence. And then the idea is, generally in the past, in the on-premise world, people have had to, hire IT teams, write complex ETL, do daily ETL, build a large warehouse, and hire a bunch of engineers to do that job. So what Oracle has done is basically we are automating that for you and providing a cloud-based application called Fusion Analytics Warehouse, where we are doing that part for you. As an Oracle DevOps is, making sure data gets loaded into a warehouse, and we are able to generate the decision intelligence that you need. As far as the way to think about it is, we have a shared data model, so a star schema, with all the relevant dimensions and facts and so forth. It's powered, all the data is sitting in an autonomous data warehouse, which might be most relevant to this audience. And then we have the reports and analytics, advanced analytics showing up in Oracle Analytics Cloud. Now we pull data every day from, or even multiple times a day from Oracle Cloud applications. And then there's capabilities to pull in data from other sources as well. So it's a fully managed data pipeline, right? So customer is not having to manage the ETL on their own. We have a curated semantic model and pre-built content out of the box. So, once you turn it on, you can start your analysis right away. You can extend data, and it is the best of both worlds. The reason I say that is, you do have these platform services, Oracle Analytics Cloud and Autonomous Data Warehouse, which we spin up in the customer's account. So while we are providing you with this packaged application, you can use that Autonomous Data Warehouse and OAC for your own purposes. Like you could add a custom schema, for example, in the ADW. The advantage of the managed data pipeline is there's zero downtime during data refresh and upgrades. It's backwards and forward compatible. So every 3 months, every quarter, we are doing a major release, right? We are adding more content, more data models, more features. And every month we might have patches. But while we do these releases, you don't have to worry about downtime. The data keeps on being available to the customer, to the business user. As far as security model, what we do is, since this is called Fusion Analytics Warehouse, the idea is to integrate deeply with Fusion. And so the same users that are logging into Fusion and Oracle Fusion are synced over using IDCS into the Fusion Analytics Warehouse. So the same users, same roles, you're logging with the same SSO. And, most of the job roles are mapped. There is some, we do have capabilities on specific data roles and duty roles that you can specify in the Fusion Analytics Warehouse, right? Because you have to realize that this is not the difference between this product and OTBI. You may have heard of Oracle Transactional Business Intelligence. That is just operational reporting that comes within Fusion, right? So it's pointing to the same operational tables. It's more of, my work queue, how am I doing, things of that nature, right? More operational. And this is more advanced analytics, right? You have historical analysis, cube-based analysis. So it is a different warehouse sitting in ADW, and you can set up your own security, including custom security if needed. So what is the actual kind of value to the end customers, right? So you can buy these SKUs, you can buy these products called ERP analytics, SCM analytics, HCM analytics, CX analytics. And so if you are a customer of Oracle Fusion ERP, you buy ERP analytics and the system gets set up. We automatically start feeding the data into the warehouse, and you then get this type of value, right? So for general ledger, you can do analysis on all of these type of metrics: accounts receivable, payable, fixed assets, spend, employee expense, procurement, projects, and we keep adding more and more subject areas to these things. So the way it looks is very modern, very kind of useful. The whole idea is to gain insights in an easy fashion. So for example, on the left, you might have, how is your capital doing? Your concepts of, profit and loss and receivables and so forth. And then similarly, for supply chain analytics, you might have analysis in your spend, your agreements, contracts, purchase orders, requisitions, receipts. And again, we keep on adding more every quarter. This is another example of what it may look like. In this case, shipments, cancellations, order kind of inventory. HCM is just human capital management. So your workforce, your talent, payroll, talent profiles, diversity, inclusion, learning, time and labor, performance goals, and things of that nature. CX analytics, sales pipeline, leads, activities, campaign management, and subscription management. And then these, this warehouse is designed for cross-functional analysis. So the advantage of a warehouse is you can have conformed dimensions. So you have an ability to go across and try to find, insights across your ERP and HCM, for example. we provide extensibility across all layers of the application. So what that means is, if you want to load data from other sources into that ADW, the Autonomous Data Warehouse instance, you can do so. We provide some easy to use tools to do so as well. I'll talk about that later. But if you want to just create your own ETL, create a custom schemas, put some data in there, you can do so. And then once you have that, you might even want to put, extend the semantic model. And we have tools to do so. Some of you might be familiar with the concept of RPD, which is the Oracle Business Intelligence server concept. And that includes the semantic layer. And we provide tools to be able to extend that. And you can build custom reports on top and dashboards on top. And we preserve all of those extensions and customizations. And we provide ways to package them up, if you will, right, in a bundle, so that you can go from dev to test to production. Or if you're a partner, you can take your customizations and send it to multiple customers. I won't spend too much time on this because this deck was intended to, what's upcoming next. But the key idea is, like I said, we do release every quarter. So, 22 R3 is, well, this was actually from last year. So, this just talks about the new thing. Actually, you know what? Let me just talk about. So, for example, in ERP, we are adding Accounting Hub, which has become a very popular product in the Oracle Fusion. So analysis on that, cash forecasting, spend classification, in the supply chain, inventory balances, work orders, ESG analytics, which is the environmental, social governance type of analytics. In the human resources world, some security enhancements and, payroll, employee health and safety, things of that nature. Revenue intelligence, subscription management for the CX side. And then the platform, that's just the infrastructure. So for example, we have this product available in 10 of the regions already. We just added Singapore, for example. And we are about to add UK Government Cloud, Mumbai, Tokyo. And then eventually next year, we'll add US Government Cloud. And we already have 200 plus customers in the other commercial regions, Ashburn, Phoenix, London, Sao Paulo, Dubai, Sydney, those type of areas. And pretty soon we'll have all the languages supported in Fusion. So we're just rounding that up as well. I talked about the environmental, social governance kind of analytics. That's a roadmap item coming up. Another thing that we have added, which I talked about briefly, is, we are building these connectors. So out of the box, you have connectors to common things that people want: Salesforce, EPM, e-business suite. And we have something called data augmentation. So if you don't find something in your out-of-the-box application and you want to grab some extra data, extra tables, whether it's from Oracle Fusion, whether it's from Salesforce or EPM, Shopify, we allow you to connect to those sources, identify the table, and then we will do the daily ETL for you, right? So we'll just pull that data, put it in the Autonomous Data Warehouse. So that part you don't have to worry about. And then you can use that data to build additional semantics and reports.
So I have a question. How does that differ from the transforms that are available in Autonomous Data Warehouse, and how are they accessible also?
Sorry, what was the question on?
Yeah. So you're saying that these transforms are different from the transforms that are available in the Autonomous Database product?
Yeah. The way to think about it is this life cycle of providing a connection to these type of sources like Salesforce and dumping the data into the Autonomous Data Warehouse. That cycle, we manage on our own, right? So customer doesn't have to do anything, and we do use technologies like Spark, right? More because we want it to be scalable. We have hundreds of customers. We want the data to load in time and so forth. So this is a very simplistic, and don't think of this as a complex. Once you land the data in Oracle Autonomous Warehouse, you obviously have all the power of the Autonomous Database.
Yeah, I'm finding it's very powerful. How do you access these tools to do that? Is that just part of FAW and there's an interface and they're...
Yeah. So within FAW, there's an interface where you might say, hey, connect to a Salesforce instance.
Okay.
Right? And then we have screens called data augmentation, where we'll say, all right, now that I'm connected to Salesforce, I would like to pull in, my potential accounts, and I would like to just dump that data into ADW. And once you kind of select that, we under the covers, the FAW product is using these, Spark jobs every day to get the data. And that's the same technology we use for our Oracle Fusion, right? Because notice that when I was talking about ERP, SCM, it's all of that analytics. We are obviously pulling the data from Oracle Fusion every day. And this is just, leveraging that same framework.
Okay.
You just get data from these other connections. So we just identify whatever our customers kind of identify as common things they need, like a FTP, right? Some people will say, hey, I have a bunch of files sitting in FTP every day. I would like to load the data into the warehouse. So we provide them with a FTP connector, right? So they don't have to worry about doing the daily refresh. They just identify this FTP location and we pull the data for them.
Okay.
Another concept is, we do have customers already using Oracle Analytics Cloud, right? And so if you already have using that, and then you buy Fusion Analytics, you get an Oracle Analytics Cloud instance with it. And so you might want a single pane of glass, right? So you have your custom content that you already created, and now you have this nice packaged content from Fusion Analytics, and you would like to see it in one place. So we have provided some capabilities to do so. We can merge those content into one instance. And then, of course, both the autonomous data warehouse as well as Oracle Analytics Cloud has very rich machine learning capabilities. So since we are an application, we are of course focused on the end user business value. So we are using all of that capability to start adding things of this nature, right? So collection risk prediction, on-time payment prediction, expense anomaly detection, diversity analysis, employee skills matching, survey analytics, right? These are common, and you can imagine uses of machine learning that we want to put in the product itself. So as you go to the subject area for that area, you see attributes which are already kind of pre-built and you can leverage. And then we have other use cases that we are still kind of delivering, AP payment date prediction, duplicate invoice detection, supplier ranking, things of that nature. And so like I said, every 3 months, we keep on adding more and more features. Here are some, I guess, screenshots, an example of what a customer risk analysis might look like. What's their outstanding, overdue invoices, average invoice, things of that nature. This is something, it's, we talked about this in Oracle Cloud World, so I can talk about it. The longer term vision, right? So today, like I mentioned, we have Fusion Cloud, right? Oracle Fusion, which has transactional reports, pixel perfect reports, and so forth. And it's OLTP system. And then we have this Fusion Analytics Warehouse that I just gave an overview of, where it's an ADW database with historical multi-source analysis, advanced ML. And of course, from a customer perspective, it'll be much easier if this was all integrated, right? That they don't have to, think about two different systems. Today, both the visualization, like the visualization that you get out of the Fusion Analytics Warehouse is much more richer. As you saw those decks and dashboards that I was showing, they look pretty nice and they're very useful in terms of drill-in and all sorts of capabilities. I think the operational reports are still slightly behind, on the visualization. And then you have different databases, right? So the vision is, can we unify this in the future? And what would that look like, right? So imagine that, you're within your cloud, HCM cloud, right? It's Oracle Fusion. And so you can now click on, you might get certain new tiles or certain new dashboards. Or while you're looking at, let's say, your Oracle Fusion screen, this is your OLTP application, you might even see some banners on top, right? Giving you insight. Hey, did you know that your procurement spend for the last 3 periods is blah, and your non-PO is that? And you can explore the historical analysis. So the idea is to integrate more and more within the business user experience, right? So that's something that we are embarking on. It will take some time, of course. So this is the long-term vision. Meanwhile, like I said, people can buy this Fusion Analytics Warehouse. You just buy it as ERP Analytics or HCM Analytics, and you're able to set it up and get all that benefit right now. Let's see, these are just some, yeah. All right. You can go back. So yeah, any questions I can answer for any different kind of area that I can cover for you.
All right, do we have any questions there? Was anyone thinking about using Fusion Analytics Warehouse, or did this bring news to you?
Especially, my understanding is this audience uses autonomous databases, and our autonomous data warehouse is very powerful, of course, and they keep on adding features. So it's obviously, when we build this product, we heavily leverage, that technology as our core, data warehouse, and then all of the visualization is Oracle Analytics.
So if you were to sum it in a nutshell, what the differences were, what would it be?
Difference between
just using like an autonomous database implementation or using a Fusion Analytics Warehouse, what would the difference be?
Okay. So yeah, as far as, if you were to buy autonomous data warehouse on your own, right? So that from that perspective, we are actually giving you, like I said, it's SaaS and PaaS. So we are giving you access to that autonomous data warehouse that we spin up. So it's no different, right? It's the same exact autonomous data warehouse. We even allow you can go to the OCI console, you can scale up, scale down. I think some of the differences that I can think of is, for example, you can't shut down this database, right? Because you have really bought a SaaS application called Fusion Analytics, and that application relies on this database. So you can't shut it down, you can't scale it down. So there are certain things you can't do, like let's say mirroring, right? Autonomous data mirroring. You can't set that up on your own. So there are certain limitations because this application is heavily using this, so we need to make sure that it continues to run. But other than that, you can, if you have admin access to this database, which you do, you can create custom schemas, you can write Apex code, you can do all those things, and you can scale it up, right? So you can scale up those CPUs, you can scale up the storage. Because one of the things, if Fusion is your center of the world in terms of data, then it might make sense to make this data warehouse your enterprise data warehouse, right? So you might say, hey, most of my terabytes are going to come from Fusion over time. And then I have some Excel files, and then I have some data sitting in Salesforce that I would like to pull in. You could do so, right? Or you might have historical data in EBS that you would like to pull in. So that's the way to think about this ADB. But to answer the question that was asked, it is the same instance. There is nothing special as such in this instance. We just have restrictions like you can't shut it down, you can't scale it down, you can't do ADG mirroring, things like that.
Okay. Okay, any other questions on that?
Hi, about the machine learning or detection, what was that AI stuff? Can you elaborate? Is it the same as anomaly detection service? Is it Oracle machine learning from the database?
It's Oracle machine learning, but it's Oracle machine learning, and we are using we are using machine learning at all levels, right? Mostly in the ADW, the Oracle machine learning OML models, and then we also have the capability to do if we need scale, for example, we might want to compute some attributes within Oracle data flow, which is the more Spark-based system. But frankly, most of the models, they're basically OML. And then what it converts into is within that subject area, like let's say for payables, you might within the APAR, you might end up with certain new attributes which allow you to predict when you'll be paid.
Perfect, thank you.
I mean, the fundamental idea here, of course, is the customers don't have to do all the heavy work. Oracle understands, of course, Oracle Fusion the best. So that this way, the customers don't have to hire IT teams and go build enterprise data warehouses and data, ETLs and star schemas and reports. They just purchase this and they're off and running. Much quicker, right? In a couple of days, they can basically have things like this, right? Now, obviously, you need historical data for this to be useful, right? If you're going to run a machine learning model, or if you're going to do quarter-over-quarter analysis. So generally, people wait until 6 months once they've implemented their Oracle Fusion, then they turn this on, and now they have 6 months or more of data, and then they start getting insights out of this.
So it's just for Fusion data then, or is it to be used in other use cases as well?
Yeah, so this is specific to, we have two products, Fusion Analytics Warehouse and NetSuite Analytics Warehouse.
Okay.
So we specifically kind of focused on, making it easier for people who have bought Oracle Fusion. They can just buy this and they're up and running. Similarly, people who have bought NetSuite, they can buy this and they're up and running. And yeah, a lot of the focus is in the Fusion ecosystem. Like I said, the long-term vision is integrate within Fusion. While the business user is doing their work in Fusion, they can actually see insights, advanced analytics, and dive into these kind of dashboards from them.
I see. Okay, thanks for repeating that. Right back to the start. Okay, thank you. I think there's no more questions. So with that, I have recorded that so we can replay it again. Maybe if you could send me the slides as well, Amit, that would be great.
All right.
Okay, anything else, anyone? Okay, perfect. I think that's us till April. Okay, thank you, everyone. Thanks for attending.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.
Thanks. See you.